back of the grid. Okay, so we have the update that Tracy did get flicked off the back, but the bike spun. So it's pretty hard. The passenger needs to yeah, just didn't quite hang on there. So wow, look at those sidecars for the first race of the Suzuki International Series here at Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park. Just dropped me water. Oh dear. So right across all the paperwork. Haven't got much left.
Out on track, we've got Jeremy Joyce and Louise Blythe doing the passengering out there, and talked to Jeremy and the Australian sidecar boy. Great to have them all over here, and fantastic. So he's had podium results in Australian sidecar racing in the last 12 months, and then we go up the inside. That Mark Halls and Darren Prentice in third place, but just got overtaken. Might be one of the long bikes in there underneath them, so we'll try and catch the update. Pete the Pirate Goodwin, he is in about 6th, 7th place at the moment. We'll keep you updated. That bright orange machine of Dennis Charlotte looks like being 4th at the moment. So F1 and F2, we'll try and do our best to tell them apart, but this is going to be brilliant with 19 on the line, Spider.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, it's and especially sensational because we had the Timaru meeting. There was 32 sidecars, post-classic, classics and moderns down there. So some of that can take some away. I know Spike Taylor blew his good engine down there, and it was really good. That was in Timaru last weekend. So really good to see them going down there, and just the logistics of getting these things round the countryside is quite difficult. So it hasn't taken away anything from the Suzuki International Series, and it's great to see the international flavour with sidecars. It's been stronger and stronger over the last few years. And, oh, look at that. It's hard work for the passenger there. Dennis Charlotte there in 5th place. He's an absolute hard charger. And, you know, New Zealand champion in about every class that's available at the moment, except sidecars. But I think it's a good chance he's going to have one. He goes up on the inside, tries up on the... Oh, look at that tight line there. Tries to get... the CTR racing machine, that's the Mark Halls and Darren Prentice, but I think that passenger was waving his fist to them, but never mind, it is what it is. Tight out in the front, 2 sidecar leaks between the letter J, the letter L, the internationals are out there in the front there, Brad Ritchie. Change of position.
Yes, Blonde up the inside into turn 5, brilliant, but didn't quite get on the gas bottom. Mr. Gear coming out of that, no harm done, still keeps the lead. So they're on the smaller F2 machine, and great to have them over here. Estelle LeBlanc, she's had top 10 results in the Isle of Man, and Frank doing the passengering there. Absolutely wonderful to have them over. And then we go to Jeremy Joyce, Louise Blythe doing the swinging for Jeremy. He's from Western Australia and does a good deal of ASVK sidecar campaigning. Pete the Pirate Goodwin up in 3rd place, but that Mark Halls and Darren Prentice and Dennis Charlotte battle, that's raging on. So 2 different classes, but they won't be worried about that out there. They'll be racing hard, I think, Spider.
Yeah, of course. Louise Blythe is passenger from Wanganui. She's former, I think, New Zealand champion, lap record holder with Stacey Sell around Wanganui. Rode last year here, I think, with my brother Ian Staples on that thundering Aprilia V12. I believe that bike's for sale if anyone wants to buy it. One entrant that's not here is Adam Unsworth, and unfortunately he's got a brand new Aprilia powered thing. So Adam Unsworth, they were testing at Manfield yesterday because that's their local track. They can get on the track all day rather than just sessions like here. But unfortunately they're out. Love to hear an Aprilia V4 in a sidecar.
So there we go. Estelle LeBlanc is stretching out the advantage, but then Pete the Pirate and official welcome back to Kendall Dunlop, who's back on the back of that Pirate machine, and they're running new BMW power that Kendall just trying to get come to terms with. But Pete the Pirate, hard charging, comes on at the end of the race. Not the greatest starter, but he is doing a good job now ahead of Jeremy. So the 111 machine, Pete the Pirate up into 2nd place, but Jeremy all over the back of him. This is going to be brilliant. And then we go to Dennis Charlotte, and great to see Dan Jenkins, Christchurch man, doing some swinging for Dennis Charlotte. So he's definitely a solo racing man and having a go on the back of a sidecar. So Dan Jenkins, one to look out for on the back of Dennis Charlotte's Mega Motorcycles Centre sidecar at the moment. And then Mark Halls and Darren Prentice, they continue to impress me on the CTR F2 machine. And then the Lawrence brothers, we see the Lawrence brothers there. They're in 6th place at the moment. Chris and Richie with Tracy and Barry already on the back of them. So from the back of the grid already up into 7th place on track. So that's great stuff from Baz and Tracy.
So I'm not going to call you out here, Brad Ritchie, and say that bike, you said Pete the Pirate is on a BMW. I have no idea, but they're on LCRs. I know they've got a BMW, and I think it's Kawasaki now. So I've no idea what's out on the track. So that's just interesting, and that's, yeah, we must work it out. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, definitely not, but they have the 2 completely different machines, which brings me to the point of trying to set up 2 completely different engines and do all the engine management. So unless you can, I don't know whether you can confirm this, it's up to you. I mean, you've been around the pits having a look, so
Yeah. I spoke to Kendall this morning, and she said, yes, that was the big.
That's
thing
their
was,
preference.
Yeah, coming to terms with the BMW power and changing her styles subtly. So I'm not sure.
So what I'm saying is they've got a backup machine, Brad, and thanks for pointing that out. Yeah.
So there it is in second place at the moment, the 111 Pete the Pirate, but Estelle LeBlanc and Frank Clays, they are dominating this one at the moment. They have a 6.5 second lead as they go through the S's, and with just 3 laps to go. What a class act, Estelle LeBlanc, all the way from France. And brilliant to have them, and a great international flavour. But look at Dennis Charlotte, hard charging. He is in the 140.6s, so he's the fastest F1 machine out there. So he's climbed right on the back of Jeremy Joyce and Louise Blythe. So look out for Dennis Charlotte, the hard charger, with still 3 laps to go.
I was at Timaru last weekend, and there's the bus stop, which is a real quick chicane there, which is a right combination. And I've commentated that meeting many times. And it's rare to see someone pass coming into there, and it's even rarer to see a double pass over that thing. Well, the Lawrence brothers come in there, and they took Dennis there in the first corner. Dennis went round the outside of them and on the second corner and got it back. And I've seen a lot of motorcycle racing in the history, but that is the most incredible pass I've ever seen on a motorcycle race track in New Zealand. I commentate up to 30 days in New Zealand, and no touching or anything like that. It is rare as hell to see a solo do that. But a sidecar that's so much wide, it just blew me away. I hope it's on film somewhere. Back to what's on the track here at the moment. And Estelle LeBlanc, wow, look at the way they're running away with it. What brand of engine this thing got in it? I think it might be Kawasaki, but we need to find out that. But it's beautifully presented motorcycle. As Brad Ritchie said, top 10 competitor in the sidecar world at the Isle of Man. And I've watched the sidecars this year, or followed them online with the, when I say watch the timing, and I watched her with eagerness, knowing that she was coming to New Zealand. And part of the deal was, I think Tracy Bryan went over to France and actually swung for France or somewhere in the Europe on the way to the Isle of Man this year. So it's great to see the girls getting together. Of course, Tracy Bryan, a legend in her own right, you know. They back out there still, or have they pulled out? Oh, Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan, first time out this weekend on the little LCR 600 with problems with their big bike, and now they're in 6th spot there.
Yeah, absolutely fine. They're right on the back of Mark Halls and Darren Prentice almost, so that's going to be a battle for second place in the F2 sidecars with Estelle LeBlanc on the F2 machine well out in front. And then you see that battle for second, third and fourth in the race is actually the battle for first, second and third in class, with Pete the Pirate ahead of Jeremy Joyce, and Dennis Charlotte just slipped back. So he'd taken third place as they crossed the line, but now slipped back into 4th place. So isn't it great to see sidecars passing and toing and froing? It's absolutely brilliant. With 19 entered, and we've got 17 on the track at the moment, and we seem to have just all sorts of machines out there, Spider. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Lots of colour here too. There's so much colour in these bikes. These bikes from Australia are all beautifully presented, and New Zealand, yeah, a lot of beautiful presented bikes there. It's great fun with the sidecars. I hope at Manfield next weekend the Sidecar Racing Association puts on the barbecue that they've had traditionally for the last few years to share with the internationals, our camaraderie, and I'm sure that's going to happen. I'll keep you posted on that. The white flag is out. Estelle LeBlanc from France with Frank Clay there on the side there. Clay's there on the side there, followed by Pete the Pirate. Kendall Dunlop, less than a year ago, Kendall Dunlop had a child there. She's childless this weekend. The kid is up in Auckland, so they can concentrate. Her husband, Matt Dunlop, is riding, so she had a season off. Louise Blythe stepped in for, I think, last season, and then, yeah, I think so. I'm a bit confused here.
So we'll go to the update. Estelle LeBlanc and Frank Clays in first place on the F2 machine. Pete the Pirate and Kendall Dunlop in second place. Jeremy Joyce, Louise Blythe in third. Dennis Charlotte and Daniel Jenkins in 4th place. Barry Smith and Tracy Bryan have now got up into 5th place with Mark Halls and Darren Prentice in 6th. Then we go to the Lawrence brothers, Chris and Richie Lawrence in 7th place. Bryce Rickard and Callum Innes from the Gisborne pair there. They have just come on in leaps and bounds in sidecar racing over the last 12 months with Matt Peters and Doug Corns, the awesome guys there in 9th place. And Spike Taylor and Graham Wilkinson there. They round out your top 10 with Gordy McEwen and Louis Scribner doing the passioning there. That's 11th. So what a great depth of field. When you've got Nick and Wendy Plogue down in 12th place, it's very, very good to watch. But we've been taught a lesson here by Estelle LeBlanc.
Definitely. Nick Plogue is 60-odd. They started racing about 4 years ago, and this bike, number 77, had blown up 3 times and that. He took it apart. They says, no, we're going to keep running the number 77, and they've had it faultlessly, hasn't failed since there, but I don't want to put the commentator's curse on them. So it was great to have a chat with them in the pits. I don't get much time to talk to each and every person, but it was the first time in recent time that I'd talked to them, so they're in 12th there. So running to the line there, Brad Ritchie, it's over to you.
Estelle LeBlanc, what a performance, lapping in the 138s, and they take a dominant win. There we go with the letter L on the program, but I think it is still her iconic 103 on the machine, so we'll keep an eye on that. Pete the Pirate Goodwin, he is the first F1 bike home with Jeremy Joyce, Louise Blythe coming through in third. Dennis Charlotte and Dan Jenkins chased them all the way there in fourth place, so with a better start, I think they're going to be one to watch. Dennis Charlotte and Barry Smith and Tracy Byrne off the back of the grid right up into fifth place. That's going to be fantastic points for there. Mark Halls and Darren Apprentice, another F2 machine there, home in sixth place. And the Lawrence brothers home in seventh. So they get better and better as the weekend goes on. So keep an eye on the Lawrence brothers. And then we look for the Gisborne pair, Bryce Rickard and Callum Innes, still to come round with Matt Peters and Doug Corn. So the top eight, we've got an issue through the flip-flop there. So someone's pulled up a little bit in the flip-flop. Not sure there what's happening. There's someone, that looks like Matt Peters and Doug Corn's nearly on the grass trying to pass them. It's going to be a drag race to the line, and it's going to be the Gisborne pair going to hang on. So I'm not sure they had a big problem coming into the flip-flop, and then we've hung on for ninth place.
Are you good with the woman? Don't want to be rude here. There's a woman there in first, a woman in second, and a woman in third place. We saw that in New Zealand Superbike Championship. They were all passengering. We saw it more than once. We saw it about 4 times, but we had a female there on the first, second and third bike. So, yeah, you'll be no doubt. And being the last race of the day, you've got a little bit longer to comment, to have a chat with. What I'm going to do is send Brad down to do the interview in a minute when he's ready to go. I'm not pushing him out of here. And thanks, mate, for your help. You're a legend, and been really a pleasure working. I don't normally enjoy commentating. You just go into a zone, but I've really enjoyed this afternoon, especially after that long practice session. But thank you very much. And we're gonna, we're just getting the thumbs up about the barbecue at Manfield next weekend. So thank you, Bert. There, we can put a spit on you, but. Thanks there, Brad, for your help all day, and thank you for the quality in a Wanganui and the Motorsport Fix for supporting sidecars and the quality in a Wanganui. You need accommodation for Boxing Day, try them first because they do support things. It'll be tight to get in there, but yeah, it's absolutely great to see all these this action out on the track. So 2 races, we've got 2 races tomorrow as well, folks. Don't forget to tell people it's on Ctas. Bring your wet weather gear for tomorrow. I understand the weather might be coming along and being a bit septic, but we'll have to see what's going to go on in that department. I'm going to call it a day from the commentary box up at the tower. Thank you very much, folks, for the great racing, the lap records. There were so many lap records busted today, and long may it continue. 2 races tomorrow, and